It's time to predict the scores of week 18 of this 2023-2024 championship season. In game week 17, Leicester returned to winning ways and Ipswich came a cropper against West Bromwich Albion. Top scorer though for week 17 with a magnificent score of 15 points and 3 perfect scores was Harry Doherty. And narrowly behind Harry was Covlad 76 on 14.5 points. How that affects the overall leaderboard now? Well, top of the shop as usual currently is Alex Cochrane on 192 points, followed by Ferris 77 in second on 187 points. But we're all about game week 18. Games taking place on Tuesday the 28th and Wednesday the 29th of November. And we kick things off at the Cardiff City Stadium, where we've got Cardiff City coming up against West Bromwich Albion. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend this fixture, but the Bluebirds coming off a magnificent 2-1 away victory against Preston North End, where they left it very, very late. Preston having a player sent off in that match, Robbie Brady. And West Brom, as we just noted, beating Ipswich 2-0, which propels West Brom up to 5th in the table. This one's going to be tight. Cardiff will be missing a couple of players. Callum Grant unable to play against his parent club, and Jamalu Collins unlucky really to stay on the pitch against Preston, but he's now suspended for this fixture. So Cardiff have got problems down their left hand side. Whether West Brom can capitalise on that, I'm not so sure. This one in front of their home grounds. Cardiff haven't won for, well, they have won for 3 matches. Superbru haven't actually put that victory up as of yet, so be wary of that if you're looking at the Superbru website. But I'm going to go for a draw in this one, and I think both teams will score, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. We then move to the Ricoh Arena, where Coventry take on Plymouth, and Coventry won for the first time in absolute age, beating Millwall 3-0 away from home. And Plymouth Argyle themselves carving out a lovely win against Sunderland. So tight one this one. Both teams winning on the weekend, but I'm going to edge it to Coventry being the home side. I'm going to go for a 2-1 narrow win. We then move on to Hull City taking on Rotherham. Rotherham drawing on Friday evening against Leeds United, coming back into that one, even though Leeds kind of battered them, but Rotherham held out in the end for a 1-1 draw. And Hull City coming back from 2-0 down against Swansea to draw 2-2. You've got to fancy Hull in this one. And I think Rotherham defensively not too bad at times, but I fancy Hull to take all 3 points in a 1-0 win. Then we've moved to the Riverside, where Middlesbrough take on Preston. Now Middlesbrough, having gone on a magnificent run of, something like 7 games on the bounce, winning them all, have now just won once in their last 4 matches, and it was a defeat against Bristol City Ashton Gate on the weekend, 3-2. Preston, of course, it says they're a draw against Cardiff, but it was a late defeat, wasn't it? Can Preston go to Middlesbrough and get a draw? I think they can, and I'm going to go for a 0-0 scoreline. Next up, we got QPR taking on Stoke City. QPR again with a loss against Norwich. Stoke City, a loss against Blackburn. That was a real bad result for Stoke, that one. London, QPR, can they get a win? Haven't won an absolute age. I think this is going to end up in a draw as well, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. We then move on to Watford against Norwich, and I think I said in the last video I had misgivings about Watford. They lost 2-0 against the Foxes, and Norwich now back-to-back wins. It was a narrow win against QPR. This one's a tight one to call as well. I think Norwich away, looking okay. Watford, a tight one. It should really be a draw, but I'm just gonna fancy Watford in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win. Then we've got Blackburn Rovers coming up against Birmingham City. Birmingham getting their first win under Wayne Rooney's stewardship with a 2-1 victory, in Blackburn Rovers with that fine 3-0 win against Stoke City. You've got to go for Blackburn in this one. Is it Spozogzos or something? I can't pronounce his name. The guys amongst the goals for Blackburn, smashing him in all the time, and In this one, I think they'll take all 3 points, and I'm going to go for a straightforward 2-0 win to Blackburn. Then we go to Elland Road, where Leeds United take on Swansea. There's a few ex-Swansea players playing for Leeds, of course. We've got the likes of Dan James, Rodon and Perot up front. Also Ampadu, his dad used to play for Swansea as well. Swansea beating Hull 2-0, and then they succumbed to late pressure, and they finally drew that match 2-2. Leeds being held by Rotherham in that draw on Friday evening. I think Leeds will bounce back in this one. I think it'll be tight, and I think Leeds will take all 3 points in a 2-1 victory. Then we've got Sheffield Wednesday taking up the Foxes. There's only going to be one winner in this one. It's going to be Leicester, isn't it? And I can see them coming away with a 2-0 win. And then we move on to the St Mary's Stadium, where Southampton take on Bristol City. Bristol City carving out that lovely victory against Middlesbrough 3-2. And Southampton now a 1-1 draw against Huddersfield. I think Southampton will bounce back in this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory. Then we go up northeast of the Stadium Light, where Sunderland will hope to bounce back against Huddersfield. Huddersfield drawing against Southampton, and Sunderland with that loss down on the south coast against Plymouth Argyle. A lot of travel in there for Sunderland, but they're back at home, and I fancy them to take all 3 points in. I'm not going to go for a 2-0 victory. I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to the Black Cats. And the final fixture of this game week sees Ipswich Town taking on Millwall. It's just a win now for Ipswich in their last 4 matches, and Millwall were comprehensively defeated 3-0 by Coventry. I think Ipswich will get back to winning ways, and I think they'll win this one 3-1. So that concludes my predictions for game week 18 of this 2023-2024 EFL Championship season. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Thanks for joining me once again. Enjoy the midweek fixtures, and I'll see you all in the next video.